January 7th, 2017. Yeah, I want to. I've been paying attention, and I actually forgot. It's easy to forget this when you're talking about polls and the breakdown between, the percentage of whites that voted one way and the percentage of African Americans and all this other stuff that goes out there. And one thing that tends to be forgotten is that's of the percentage that the people who voted. I mean, there's other things that I have doubts about, but it really cannot cover everyone. In fact, they actually announced that only, I believe it, the last time I heard was 55% of the um, voters, the registered voters, actually participated. That means there's at least 45% that chose not to participate for whatever reason. And let's face it, neither one of them were all that great of a choice. None of us really wanted either one of them. Some of us decided to participate. The ones that were the angriest were the ones that were going to come out and vote. And that's what happened. So, it's been said before that what you have actually is that President Trump was elected with somewhere about 24-25% of the vote, if you consider those that did not vote. So we're only talking about 25% of the population at the most that voted for him. Now, it's not my fault. I participated. I voted. Those 45% you need to look at. You need to make sure that they understand this is their fault. And I would also like to point out, as I said, the percentages of where they say like almost 75% of the voters were white, that voted for Clinton and stuff, or voted for Trump. Um, Again, it's only 25%. So instead of saying 75%, it's probably closer to, um, who knows, maybe 20 or 30% of 25%. So maybe as much as 10% of the vote, or maybe 15% of the vote actually went to him. So obviously, it's not that this country is somehow another, as you like to, liberals like to say, racist. Okay, most people did not participate, and because there was a huge increase in one area, all it means is there was more angry people out there towards Obama's, I believe, bad management of crisis situations. I think that was his biggest mistake. I don't believe that. I think he could have gotten a lot of what he wanted. Problem is he never was willing to consider that he could be wrong or that somebody else could have a better decision to make. So remember, try to remember that this is, when you're actually talking about these numbers, it's not what, as some people like to call, a whitelash. Okay, because we're not talking about a huge number of people. We're seeing 75% of the white turnout. But when you think about it, you're actually only talking about somewhere a little over, like I said, 55% of the vote is all you have to count. And so to sit there and act as if this is somehow like a major white lash is not the case. What it is, just that a lot more of the liberals didn't feel the need to come out to vote. Probably because they didn't like Hillary Clinton on her decisions. She was campaigning on a liberal platform, and she was not liberal. It damages her. She was already seen as untrustworthy, and she was having to campaign on things that she herself couldn't convince us she believed. That is the reason why she had problems. Bernie Sanders did create a situation where she had to go left far more than normally would have been allowed, so, or necessary for her. And that only exacerbated the fact that we don't trust her. So, anyway, that's my say on the situation. I just wanted to make sure people realize that these percents that people are talking about in the media, they're really only talking about 55% of registered voters. They are not talking about 75% of all whites in this country voted for Trump. Only 75% of 55% of the voters. And let's be honest here, who knows whether or not, because, I mean, as far as I know of, your name doesn't go on the voting list. So all they have is when you come out to say who you voted for, all they have is people that volunteer to tell you that. So that is not very accurate to me. I have no reason why they would lie, but I'm just saying it's not very accurate. Thank you. Bye-bye.